We have some psychic goodness for you today. It appears that For Hire is back, and Orcust and Friends, and so much more. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. So this is quite an interesting pile. We actually get to see the psychic innovations actually coming to the forefront here, and I gotta tell you, there are some little interesting takeaways to be had with these sorts of decks. One, I mean, the psychic good stuff pairing up with P.U.N.K has been one of the most consistent things that we have actually seen. It's just, this deck, it takes a little bit of time to kind of get its bits and pieces going, but I mean, it's psychic good stuff. I mean, you're playing things like Gamma in here to be able to capitalize on the extensions, and I mean, to be fair, the rest of your game plan is just to be able to kind of power up and go. And I mean, your end board might not look the scariest, but I mean, being able to Raigeki your opponent's field does leave a lot of room to kind of work with here. So deck actually seems pretty solid for what you would expect. Next up here, we have For Hire and Friends. Now, actually seeing pure For Hire out here actually doing its job with the triple fossil dig is wonderful. You are going to notice that this deck does get access to actually playing the Nightmare Griffin, which kind of is a little bit of a surprise, honestly. We've most of us have forgotten about that card's existence, being one of those very, very, very chaotic things. But it does a good job of what it does. Also, we're playing triple Perulia. Honestly, double IP, double Fogo. We're not even playing things like Extrav in this deck to really warrant, you know, some of the doubling down on things. Are you really telling me that this deck has the ability to go through all of those sorts of pieces? And I guess the answer is, depending on how you open up, you might be seeing those multiple play lines. Next up here, we have Orcust and Friends. And it's really funny to me that this build has access to Borreload Savage Dragon. This is one of those case in points that we get to see the differences between our events and the OCG side and some of the little toolbox options that they do have access to. You know, you got to remember, I mean, you do have locks that can come down on this deck that can kind of inconvenience you at certain points. I mean, we've seen them time and time again, but interesting. I also see that we have double Forbidden Crown within the main deck, which is good. We're still going with the Borreload Savage Dragon with the Boral Sword. Boral Sword is still the OTK component for this deck. You can't really take that away from the deck, as we have seen a little bit over time here. Having access to that OTK scenario is going to be one of the reasons why Orcust is actually able to kind of close out the games. And, you know, it does work out pretty well. And then we have Labyrinth. Labyrinth has been, I'm not going to be the first one to tell you that the deck is kind of struggling, but the deck has kind of been struggling a little bit on the back burner. It's not that the deck is incredibly terrible. It's just the deck does take a lot of time to kind of get its pieces together and try to figure out, you know, how do I want to be able to play the game? Because typically, I mean, you're a deck that their job is to be able to see as many traps in rotation as you can. If you don't get access to those trap cards, unfortunately, your entire game plan just crumbles apart. It's kind of one of the sadder things that actually kind of comes with this sort of environment, but that's fine. Also, one transaction rollback, actually main decking the Dimensional Barrier. We have the Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You do get to see some of the Fiend Toolbox, DDD stuff coming in through the extra deck here. So, I mean, it feels like you've got your options and they're going pretty good. Next up is probably one of the weirdest. I mean, if I had Grass Looks Greener and I had Triple Drawbred and I had all of the components that this deck looks like it's going to have working for it, then I too would try out this sort of strategy. But, you know, there's just so much thing. But also they have Curious to make the dumping even more consistent. This is just a hilarious monster, man. I gotta tell you that it really does feel like that this is a little bit of a monster for when it does actually come up. So I don't know. If you want to play a Malice pile and you're looking at just kind of taking your opponent on edge in the OCG, just go play Triple Fairy Tale Snow, man. This deck really feels like it just steals the game from your opponent, and that's what your job is to do. Make big board and go. Next up is the Elven Notes with the Medius the Pure and Orcust and Friends. Yes, we do have an Albaz and an Ecclessia in here along with the new stuff. That's fine. I mean, you get auto access to kind of punishing the opponent just to kind of see what you can actually, try to come up with in terms of your end board. There is a really spicy side deck component down here of Double Brow and Grapha. I wonder how we are looking to interact with that actual package, because that seems very, very interesting. We were also seeing Dark Strike Fighter here, or at least new Dark Strike Fighter at home, getting the chance to kind of interact with things. So I do kind of appreciate that, but these sorts of ideas that are coming out with Elven Notes continue to make me very, very happy on the innovation front, for sure. And then we have heroes. There have been not as many hero duelists actually trying out this deck as I had actually hoped. It's actually been kind of hard to find some of these little innovations that have been coming up, and it's okay, honestly. Not every week has to be a, hero-filled adventure, but it is a little bit sad to see that, this deck really didn't get off of the ground in the way that we expected it to. Mass Hero Fountain is a great card for the deck, gives the deck a crap ton of extension options, and definitely gives the deck the tools to basically keep setting up a field and go. And also, I mean, Absolute Zero is a crazy card. Honestly, Zero in the current format, for the continuous board wiping pressure that you can kind of put on your opponent, it doesn't seem terrible, honestly. It just depends on, where your setup goes. And from there, next up here, we have the Knight Dota package. This build has been showing up a lot. Some days it's successful, some days it's not. I mean, that's because the meta still needs time to establish. I mean, when your big bad in the room is going to be the Mitsurugi pile, you kind of have an idea of what you've got to try to beat in order to kind of overcome the boundaries and set up for things. I mean, that's fine. This build does get access to the triple purge, which is good. You do see, I mean, your Knight package isn't exactly the greatest for the old lines, which is fine. We've also got the Utopic Future Draco stuff in here. I do like the Utopic Future Draco stuff. I like that the Draco stuff is there to kind of give you a little bit of a consistent approach to kind of be able to force your opponent into a little bit better of a position for yourself. So, okay, outside of that, there's not a lot else you can really do with this deck, I feel like. Next up here, we also have more Elven Notes, this time with the White Forest Special. This has been, I think, one of the most interesting developments to actually come out of this deck, because it actually puts the White Forest pile back on the radar as an actual list of choices that we can actually functionally mess around with without kind of losing what the deck has. Now, obviously, Herald and Baron are, no-no cards, but, I mean, that's okay. We also do get access to seeing Secret Village down here. This card is an incredibly broken card, man. No matter how much we're going to spin this card and try to tell you it's not broken, nah, it is. It is one of the most broken little packages that you can kind of throw into a deck right now and just hide behind your spellcaster good stuff. I mean, if this deck does full combo, sets up the stupid big board, and then just slaps the Secret Village on the table, you're conceding to your opponent. You're just offering the handshake. You're like, I'm done. And then we have some Fallen of Albaz good stuff. I actually just left this in here because it's kind of interesting to see how the pure Albaz deck in the OCG has been evolving. This deck isn't necessarily great for what it does, but you still get to see where the ley lines go. You get to see the conversions for what the deck wants. So you have a general idea of what you're trying to look at and do here. And also, having Expulsion is a pretty good time. So what do you guys think about these little interesting challengers that these deck lists have shown us? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.